Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. Today, for your viewing pleasure, we will be cleaning a Sig Sauer 228. That is correct. The P228. Seldom seen, often talked about. I picked this bad boy up, I don't even know how long ago. I just shot it for the first time the other day. I bought it used. I don't even remember what I paid for it now, but it was like nothing. I don't know, $300-400. It was cheap. Bought it from a former or a retired law enforcement officer who, I don't think he was retired as well as he thought he would or something like that. I'm not sure what the deal was, but he gave it to me cheap. Anyway, got to shoot this a little bit yesterday or day before. I can't remember now. It's a freaking awesome shooter. It is. I'm not a big fan of the sights, but hey, you know. Now listen, I got something else I'm going to say in this video too, but you know how I do it. I usually don't get into anything real good until I've been flapping my lips for, you know, seemingly forever. But hold on to that. Listen, I want to, this is for the young Turks out there that haven't or don't have a lot of experience with firearms and they ran across this video. I just want to reinforce this because I think it's very important. So many people every year get hurt, injured seriously, and some killed by cleaning their guns. With cleaning their guns. And it's the stupidest and most preventable thing, period. Here's the thing. Whenever you go to clean your gun, first of all, anytime you put your hands on a gun, please, for the love of God, consider this gun to be loaded. Every gun you ever put in your hands, consider it to be loaded until you prove otherwise. And then even then, always respect the muzzle. The first thing that I always do when I clean a firearm, always, is I remove the magazine. Okay, now here's one of the things that lead people astray. Notice there's no bullets in the mag. When they do that, then they're like, well, okay, the gun's unloaded. That's how people get hurt, because no, the gun is not unloaded. The gun is not unloaded until then you do this. You rack the slide back, and you visually inspect inside the gun. Now you can lock it back. Okay, once you lock it back, then you can visually inspect. If you need to, take your finger and inspect inside there. And you know what? This gun is not loaded. This gun is no longer capable of hurting anybody. Period. Okay, so I'm going to get off my soapbox there, but the reason I say this is because seems like I hear this sad story over and over about how somebody thought they had an unloaded gun, they were cleaning their gun, and it put a round in their leg or in their arm or in their, you know, God forbid, their head. Things like that happen. Okay, I've never taken this down. And I do have a P229, so having said that, I'm assuming that this is going to take down similar to that. So let's go ahead and do that. So you got the takedown lever here. I'm going to put that down. And by the way, if you remember the video I did, I'm not sure which channel I put on with Krista's Sig Sauer Mosquito, the takedown lever on a Mosquito actually goes all the way over, and you don't have to have this gun locked back. So now we're going to release the slide, and we're going to move it forward and see if it comes off, and it does. Okay, so that is exactly like the 229. Exactly. Okay. So there you go. There you have it. Pretty easy. I mean, it's the easiest gun to take down outside of a Glock that I know of. Because, boom, now we're down. We can clean the barrel. We can clean the slide. You know, do it. Hey, by the way, I'm going to do this old school. I still have probably a quarter can of this Ballistol, which I think I got at Brownells. I may be wrong about that. But you know what? Just to bring me back to the old days, I'm going to use some Hoppe's 9. That's what I'm going to do. And maybe even a little Rem oil for the hell of it. Okay. Well, you know, of course, I will be finishing up with the rest of these rags. Here's the little story I want to talk to you about while I'm doing this. I'm on the phone. Oh, wow, look at this. This has never even been used. Let's shake it up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Brand spanking new. I didn't even realize that. I was talking to a friend of mine last night. And we went to high school together. This chick and I went to high school together. We're on the phone. We're just shooting the shit, talking about the old days. And somehow we got on the subject of, you know, high school fights and fighting and whatnot. And I gotta be honest with you. By the way, I don't know how much this needs to be cleaned. I grabbed it the other day or yesterday for the first time to go shooting. And I don't honestly know that it was clean, but when I got it or what, I just wouldn't grab it. So it doesn't look to be that dirty, to be honest with you, but I didn't know. Anyway, so we're talking about scrapping. And she goes, didn't you get in a fight with this one dude? His name's Steve. I won't use his whole name. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, he's one of two guys that literally kicked the living snot out of me. I mean, just kicked my ass. Well, we were talking, and she said, yeah. She goes, I remember. She goes, your face was in pretty bad shape for a long time. I go, well, yeah, no, it was bad. It really was. It was bad. And so she says to me, she says, so you said you got your ass kicked twice? Only twice? I go, yeah. I go, I could throw. I mean, I could throw. I was a short dude. I'm only 5'6", so I feel pretty good about the win-loss record because my win-loss record is pretty high. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying when you're young, you got a lot of testosterone. I started my scrapping career in elementary school. And I used to box Golden Gloves, and I boxed at the East Side Golden Gloves Gym in Toledo, Ohio. Boxed with a guy named Bobby Eaton, who went on to become Golden Gloves champion. That was not my lot in life to be, Golden Gloves champion. Although I enjoyed it a lot, there were some things that prevented that from happening. Not to make excuses, but I think I could have been a champ. I could have been a contender. I could have been a contender. But I remember, listen, I have to be honest with you. I'm watching today. I'm watching a video by, was it Unicow? And he was talking, well, I mean, and he's a good guy. And he's trying to talk to young guys that come in there and take karate lessons from him, not to fight. And it should be last resort and all this stuff. And fighting isn't a good thing. But I got to be honest with you. When I was young, I loved it. Honest to God, I did. I loved a good scrap. I did. Win, draw, or lose, man. I loved it. I just loved it. I don't know why. But, so anyway, I remember when I was 10 years old, I was boxing Golden Gloves. First time in the ring, I was fighting a guy named Mike Cool. And Mike, if you just happen to stumble across this brother, I just want you to know that all these years later, I still remember you. Mike Cool. I knocked his ass out. I bet you we were about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds into the first round. And the next thing you know, I hit him with the right uppercut and he was out like a light. He was out. Well, everybody was just, they were just like, holy shit, dude's got a freaking knockout punch. Which, by the way, you should know this. In boxing, not everybody has a knockout punch. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a great career and not have a knockout punch because, Sugar Ray Leonard's a perfect example that, yes, you can have a really great career without having a devastating knockout punch. But I'll tell you what, it does help if you can put somebody on their ass with one blow. So, anyway, I remember that like it was 2 seconds ago, and it was awesome. It really was an awesome feeling. And I know, Unicow, I know what you're trying to say to your students. I get it. I do. I get it. I understand. But I'm just saying, when I was a young guy, I just loved to throw. I just did. Now, having said all that, here's the important part of this video. Let's go fast forward to high school. I'm going to tell you all the circumstances behind it because it's it is what it is. But I will tell you this. A guy named Steve, well, no, Steve wasn't the first one to whip my ass. Dude, I can't remember the other guy's name. But here's the thing. Both dudes that whipped my ass were both like 6'4". And here I am, 5'6". Nobody has ever put me on my ass, ever. Even the two dudes that whipped my ass, and I ain't going to lie to you, they handed me my ass on a platter, but neither one of them could put me down. Neither one of them. Now, having said that, and I was telling this girl last night, in retrospect, if I'd have been smart, I would have just hit the ground the minute that I took that first punch. Because both those dudes just caved my freaking face in. I tried, when I would get in a fight with a taller guy, when you're 5'6", most guys are taller. But I mean a really tall guy, like somebody over 5'11". I would always try to get him on the ground, because I also wrestle. And I was smart enough to know that no matter how good of a punch I had, you ain't going to stand up against a dude that's got that kind of reach and that kind of height on you. It's just not going to happen. It's just not possible, And so my game plan for those dudes was always to get them on the ground. Once I got them on the ground, then I would just jackhammer the hell out of them. But, you know, the trick was to get them on the ground. Well, these two dudes weren't having that. No. God, I wish I could remember that first dude. Because the first dude was like, I was a freshman in high school, and he was like a senior. And I was pretty full of myself. And he was too. To be honest with you, he kind of instigated the whole thing. But it didn't take much to instigate with me. You know. And I'll tell you what, I remember we met at a place called Jackman Elementary. And after school, so we got out of high school. We got out of school at like 2:15. The elementary school went out at 3, so we had to meet after that. I want to say we met at 4 o'clock at Jackman. And dude, I almost got him down a couple times. If I could have got him on the ground, he even said that later on. If I would have got him down, he knew, in fact, if I got him on the ground, he was toast. But it did not work so well for me. And he just fucking beat my ass. He did. He just beat my ass up fierce. But that was as bad of an ass kicking as that was. The second dude, Steve, oh my God. He, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've ever been hit that hard in my life. Not before, not since. And I'd been in a lot of bar fights when I got into my 20s, but this was still high school. The 2 times I really got the most ass whipping was in high school. I came close to getting my ass whipped a couple of times out of high school, but I always ended up on top, you know, winning the fight. But man, Steve, holy crap, he hit like a fucking freight train. I mean, I swear to God, and I can still feel it. I have a hole, well, it's not a hole, it's closed up now, where one of my bottom teeth went through my freaking lip. And I'll never forget this because I had to go get stitches. And I can remember laying in my doctor's office, and I don't know what I was, 17, something like that, 18 maybe, I don't remember, I was young. And my doctor, Dr. Williams, I'll never forget this, he looked at me, and he knew he had his work cut out for him. He was an old school doctor. In fact, I think he had delivered my mother. And he said to me, he goes, "What's the other guy look like?" And I was like, you know what? A whole lot better than me. And he goes, "Well, I hate to hear that." And I go, "You hate to hear it." But, so anyway, let's get back to the conversation I was having with this chick. I said to her, I said, you know what? Those ass kickings were truly the best things that ever happened to me. Period. And she goes, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "Let me tell you something, and I firmly believe this. You can let me know in the comment section if you believe this philosophy. This is my philosophy on life. Every young guy, especially young guys that are full of piss and vinegar, like I was. And I was full of piss and vinegar. Every young guy needs his ass kicked more than once. Well, actually, you know what? At least once. At least once, he needs to have his ass handed to him. No excuses. Look in the mirror and go, man, I do whip my ass. At least once in life, he needs to have it handed to him on a platter. You know, to the point where there ain't no denying it. Because some people live in denial about shit like that. I'm talking about an ass whipping to the point where you just can't even deny that the dude whipped your ass. So, here's the thing. The reason I feel that way is because it humbles you. I tell you what, honest to God, I was undefeated until that first defeat. And that first defeat was so devastating that there was no denying that, you know what, I'm only human, and, you know, no matter how badass I thought I was, there's always somebody badasser. Always. Always. You know, and that is a very important lesson for a young guy to learn. Some guys never learn it, but I'll tell you what, honestly, I think an ass kicking helps. I really do. So I'm saying, you know, in Unocal, you're talking to your students about, you know, not fighting, and I respect that. But I'll tell you honestly, I really do think this for most young guys, not all young guys, but most young guys, a good ass kick can go a long way to straighten them out. It's you know, it helps you on so many different levels in life. Because truthfully, once you figure out that you can get your ass kicked, you start playing the game a little smarter. Honestly, you start playing the game a little smarter. And it ain't all about mano-a-mano and shit like that. You start planning. You got to have a game plan. And that translates to just about everything in life. Have a game plan. Seriously, have a game plan. You got to have a plan B, a plan C, hell, a plan Z if need be. You just have to. Because, you know, there's a good chance that whatever plan you had might not work out. Well, and I mean, you know what they say, best laid plans. you know. And don't be so damn cocky. And see, that's part of the thing I think about when I think about how young guys need an ass whipping. Because if you would have known me before that first ass whipping, I don't know that you would have liked me much. Because I was kind of a cocky bastard. You know, I was a cocky bastard. I was the dude that, you know, would knock people out. You know, you talking to me? You about to get your ass whipped, son? You know? Yeah. So, anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. And by the way, let me know if you've had your ass kicked. You know, now listen, I'll be honest with you. What am I, 46 now? I ain't going to have another ass kicking because I will do everything at all possible to avoid conflict. You know, because I don't heal like I used to. I surely don't. I don't heal like I used to. Yeah, and I didn't heal that well back then, now that I think about it. Oh, hey, listen, before I let you guys go, I'm going to leave a link down below. I want you guys to check out Unicow. He's a really good guy. He's a martial arts instructor. He's wheel-bound, or wheelchair-bound, but he is all kinds of ass-kicking. He is an ass-kicker extraordinaire, even though he does not like fighting, and I respect that. So anyway, that's all I got. Holy smokes, it's over 16 minutes. Hopefully there's anybody still hanging out for this. So everybody take care. See ya!